How do you know if you've got bad brass and you shouldn't reload it, especially on big magnum calibers like the 7PRC? Now I've got a couple examples here, and I'm gonna see if Kent Sakamoto knows what went wrong. Can I reload this?
No, that would be a hard no right there.
This is not reloadable brass.
No, sir.
Obviously, just an amazing display of what, I'm guessing this is an overpressured round.
So
what happened here?
So this, what do we have here?
It's a 270.
270. So most likely, this was fired in a 7mm.
Okay.
It was not fired in a 270 chamber because, you know, it's split in the thickest part. The strongest part of the brass is what's failed here.
Okay.
Well, for that to happen, it had to have a lot of room to expand.
Right.
And so it was not fired in the proper chamber. Or it could have been, you know, since it's 270,
right,
somebody tried to stick it in a 270 short mag or something, or, you know,
Ooh.
just, it just was not fired in the rifle's chambering.
Right. So what I can't get over is they did it twice. That's what I can't get over. Yeah. I have two of these. So, so what do folks need to look out for, and what causes brass to, you know, not be able to reload? Because you would think, you know, you resize it, you're good to go for the life of the brass, but not always the case.
Right. So, you know, this is an obvious visual of brass you can't reload. Others would be splits in the neck, you know, so if you had splits in the neck due to the work hardening of the sizing and firing process, you could get splits in the neck.
Right.
So that's where annealing comes into play. High pressure loads, like where the PRC family lives, you know, higher pressure, you could get pierce primers, which is pressure signs, black around the primer where energy has come back through, which is enlarging the primer pocket, and it won't allow a new primer to seat in there and stay in there for you to be able to reload.
And when you're hand priming those, you'll feel normally you'll feel a little resistance when inserting into the primer pocket, but if it's real loose, probably not a good idea.
Right. If you know, anything that's different in the reloading process, you know, you're used to a certain feel, and something slightly different, you need to stop and look at it and figure out what it is. And so, yeah, a sign of hand priming and it just pops right in there with virtually no resistance. Probably the primer's going to either fall out at some point, even before you fire it. It may just work itself out in the box, you know, bag of ammo that you've loaded. But you want to set that aside. For me, if I identify, now this is, you can't mistake these.
There's no way.
You know, you're not even going to try to load these. But if you had a piece of brass that looked fairly good, but you knew it had loose primer pockets, well, rather than creating a problem for yourself or somebody else down the road, just destroy the brass. Take a pair of pliers and crush it. Nobody could use it again.
Yeah. So how often can you reload 7PRC brass? I mean, in those high pressure rounds.
The new cartridge, new guns. So you're going to get probably, you know, 3-4 reloads out of it, maybe 6, just depending on if you're loading up at a maximum or down towards the bottom or somewhere in between. Just depends what your load is with that.
And like rounds like 6GT, 6.5 Creedmoor, a lot of those popular 6.5 rounds.
So lower pressure rounds, you know, half a dozen or more, you know, good quality brass, which it's all new, you know. And if you get into neck annealing, that will increase the life of the brass as far as bullet tension and improve your consistency, because now your neck tension is the same if you anneal it.
Well, just another thing to think about when you're reloading your brass. Think about the life of brass, because it doesn't last a lifetime.
To see all of Gun Talk's content, go to guntalk.com, guntalktv.com, or sign up for the Gun Talk newsletter.